have seen the hand of God working in my life. I have come to learn that God, surely, there's nothing impossible for him. I came here in the year 2018 in May. And so my first quarter, I wrote my exams. And in my second quarter, I learned the whole quarter, had good CAs. My lowest CA was 48. I used to study a lot, not now. So I used to study a lot at 50, 40. My lowest CA was 48. Now, I didn't manage to write my exam because of financial challenges. I saw my friends coming to write the exams just there at that door. I didn't write my exams that quarter. And the quarter that followed, the same thing happened. I didn't write my exams. And after a year, I went back home and Dad told me, son, you can no longer go back to school. There's no money for you to continue with school. And so I sat down and started thinking, and there's what they call a divine inclusion. God brought a very good district pastor who treated me like his own son in the district. He gave me appointments and different things. And whenever I wanted to give up, he always used to tell me, just keep holding on. You are a pastor. And so I stayed home for 2 years without being in school. Our intake nurse graduated last year. This time around, the people who came within the Department of Theology were just the three of us. We call ourselves ancestors. So now that happened. Now after 2 years of being home, after 2 years of not being in class, God did something different. Some people just came to me and said, we have not been fair to you. We have been using you and we have been preaching, teaching, and doing different church activities. Now we are taking you back to school. So a certain family came to me. They gave me money that was in May 2021. They gave me money to come back to school. And so I came back to school. I got some courses. After 2 years of being out of school, I came back to school. I registered, wrote my exams, and then went back home. Now, the week when we opened, that was September 2021. One day as I was working with my friends, I received a call from a chairman of one of the institutions that had applied for scholarships. And he asked me to say, young man, he called me 2 times. I missed his calls. And then he writes a message to me. It's an emergency. Call me when you have your phone. And I started thinking, the chairman of an institution writing a message to me and calling me twice, and I was broke. I started looking for airtime. The moment I had airtime, he called me the 3rd time. And he says, where are you? I told him, I am home, I'm in Namwala. And he tells me to say, tomorrow, you should be at the office. Now, that is about 200 kilometers from Namwala. And he wants me to be there on the following day. And I was broke. And so, anyway, after receiving the message, I didn't mind who was there. I had to dance a little bit. I didn't mind the person because God has answered my prayer. And so I danced a little bit, and we are going to a marketplace, and we are walking in the road. And so what happens is, I get home at night, I tell my parents, I say, this is an emergency, there's no man. So I said, if I start looking for a piecework, there's nothing I'm going to do here. Let me get into hustle now. I started hustling, and so I decided to tell the people who had started sponsoring me the previous quarter, to tell them that I am going to this place. So the moment I go to this place, he says, do you have transport money? I said, I don't have anything with me. He says, Imaletas in a branch. Send some money in my Airtel Money account. I went home and prepared. And after I prepared, I want to tell church that God has a tendency of working behind the scenes. God was just doing things behind the scenes. As I got at the roadside, a certain man came to me. He had a car. He gave me a lift. And I'm the only one who he gave a lift for the distance of 200 kilometers. And along the way, he tells me to say, actually, it is God who directed me to come and get you. Because you're the only person that I've given a lift. And along the way, he was buying food for me. Whenever you get at the station, he says, what do you want to eat? He was just buying food for me for 2 kilometers. 200 kilometers. When you get to a station, he says, what do you want to eat? And so when we get to the destination, I'm about to drop off. I said, is this man going to charge me? So you know that thing of Faizo but Kanizo. I get in my pocket. I want to give him the money. And he says, here is your money, sir. He said, no. Use that for your airtime. And so God worked it out for me. And now I don't know the percentage that these people who are calling me are going to give me. When I get to the office, they say, Young man, they ask me a few questions, and then they say, get some quotations from your school. I say, what is this? I organize for some quotations. I give them the quotations, and then they say, you go back home. We are going to be paying for you. And so I was confused. And they got to a point where they get to pay everything for me. I choose the hostel I want to sleep from. I choose the number of credits that I want to get for that quarter. I eat the food that I want to eat in school. That is what I mean when I say God is going to work it out. So long as you lean on him, that's the way he worked it out for the family of Abraham. What have you been going through? What challenges do you have? I want to tell you something this afternoon. That there is a God of the impossibles. So long as you keep holding on to him, at the appointed time, he is going to work it out for you. God, work it out. Amen.